Hey guys, it's me again, Eric here at Mountaintop 9, and tonight I want to talk about the Iron Maiden album, No Prayer for the Dying. Now, you're probably wondering, I'm getting around to talking about an Iron Maiden album again, and you were probably thinking I would talk about Power Slave, or Somewhere in Time, or something along those lines. Well, I could easily do that. I love those albums just as much as the next Maiden fan, but I just kind of felt compelled to talk about this album, No Prayer for the Dying, because I feel like it's one that gets neglected quite a bit, It doesn't get enough attention. So that's why I wanted to take some time and carefully, delve into this album just a little bit. I'll tell you what, when I was growing up, No Prayer for the Dying and Fear of the Dark, those were the two Bruce Dickinson era albums that I listened to the least. I just did. Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, and Seventh Son. Those were the albums. Those were the core as far as I was concerned, and they were the ones that I listened to relentlessly. No Prayer for the Dying and Fear of the Dark, for whatever reason, I would put them on from time to time. I had the cassette tapes for both of these albums, but I would put them on from time to time, but they just didn't grab me. But in the past few years, I've listened to No Prayer for the Dying quite a bit more, and I feel like it's a rather strong album. It has some weak spots for sure, but there are some great moments on this album. I actually think it's sad that Maiden doesn't, give more attention to this album in the live setting. It's always struck me funny that Maiden loves to play the title track from Fear of the Dark live so much. I don't know why. Personally, I think that song is rather boring and bloated. It takes forever to get going. Getting back on track, the whole reason I bring up the title track from Fear of the Dark is because they always play that one live, but they don't play anything from No Prayer for the Dying. I think they've played Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter maybe a couple times in the 2000s, maybe? I think I read that they did. They sure as hell didn't play it at any show I went to. But, man, they should be busting out with a few tracks from this album. I mean, there's some good songs on here. So let's start jumping in to the songs on No Prayer for the Dying right now. First of all, this album starts off in highly energetic fashion with Tail Gunner, and it's quintessential Iron Maiden. It has a really fast-paced, adrenalized performance from everybody on board, and then when you get to that high-flying chorus where Bruce is singing the lines, "Climb into the sky, never wonder why," his voice just soars right there, and that's super catchy, and I like the way he repeats, Tail Gunner, you're a tail gunner. It just really gets into your brain, and the more and more you listen to this song, once you hear it, you just can't get it out. And there's something about that main riff, for some reason, it kind of reminds me of part of The Clairvoyant from Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, the album that preceded this. It has a similar opening riff, alright? But just from top to bottom, also the lead work on here from Yannick and from Dave Murray, it's just super catchy stuff. There's some super crunchy riffing going on under the lead section that really gets to you, and it's just a perfect way to open a Maiden album. This is back when Maiden were still opening up their albums with songs that just dove right in head first and just grabbed you by the balls, Just like all the other early albums with Bruce, whether it be Invaders or Aces High or Where Eagles Dare, whatever the fuck. Those songs just got you right out of the gates and just shook you loose, you know what I mean? Whereas nowadays, Maiden likes to open up their albums with these long-ass intros that just take forever to get going. I still remember the first time I put on The Final Frontier. When that opening song finally gets going, it really kicks ass. It's got a catchy chorus. I like the hard rock riffing of it, but god damn, that intro just takes forever. I swear to God, it's like 4.5 minutes before you actually get into the meat and bones of the song. That shit's annoying, and then they did it on the recent album. That opening track kicks ass. I love it when they get to the actual track. But the long-ass intro, come on, man, I'm waiting around here. I don't mind that shit if you want to save it for later in the album, but your opening song, long-ass intros really get on my fucking nerves. I like it when a band attacks you right out of the gates. I want that shit assaulting my eardrums. I don't want some long-ass boring intro, alright? That shit puts me to sleep. But anyway, Tail Gunner is exactly as I already stated. It's classic Maiden. It has that feel-good, up-tempo feel, and it's just awesome stuff. Now, the next song is really funny. It's called Holy Smoke, and, you know, it's Iron Maiden's turn to sing about all of these televangelists that were all the rage at the time, you know, the kind of guys that were on TV preaching and they wanted people to send them all this fucking money. Every metal band back in the 80s would take turns, you know, writing songs about these TV preachers, you know. Ozzy did it, you know, with Miracle Man. Black Sabbath did it in 1992 on the Dehumanizer album with their track TV Crimes. Slayer had Read Between the Lies. Metallica did it on Leper Messiah. So all of the big bands had their day in court with this kind of shit, and Maiden decided to put a track on this album about that very subject matter, and they called it Holy Smoke. Now, this song opens up with a very, it's a kind of a light-hearted riff. It just sounds rather, it's what you would call like a happy riff, alright? And then when it gets into the lyrics, Bruce is singing some funny stuff on this song, especially with lines like, flies around shit, bees around honey. Just the way the words roll off the tongue. It's really funny stuff. Now, I gotta tell you, this is the type of track that when I was younger, I remember renting a VHS tape with a bunch of Maiden videos on it, okay? It was one of those collection things. On that video, it had all of these music videos that Iron Maiden had done up until that point. And one of the videos, of course, was for Holy Smoke. Well, the video is very low rent. It's like a shot on video type thing, and this wasn't the kind of thing that I associated with Iron Maiden. You know, I have like a very, and especially when I was younger, I always had a very certain idea about what Iron Maiden was supposed to be. To me, Iron Maiden was this epic thing, larger than life. Just something that just makes your imagination expand into the heavens. So when I saw a video like Holy Smoke, it's just very down to earth. You know, it has Steve Harris running around in shorts, and then Bruce Dickinson is standing in a fucking cornfield or in the weeds or something, or he might be standing in flowers. I can't remember right now. But he's standing out there, and he looks like if Stephen King had a fucking twin brother that was born out in the mountains somewhere. I don't know, he just looks funny, alright? In this video in particular, he always puts me in mind of Stephen King. You know, he just has that look. I know someone else out there thinks the same goddamn thing. So the video is very comical, alright? You've got some good-looking girls in one of the scenes, you know, standing around with some dude sitting in a chair. But all those things wound together at the time rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't want to see such a gritty, low-budget video from Maiden. You know, I wanted to see that epic shit, something very theatrical. But of course, would that go with the song like Holy Smoke? Hell no. That wouldn't go with the track like this at all. This song is very comical to begin with, you know, from the words to the way that main riff sounds, just the feel of it, and the video kind of just goes along with it. I guess it fits. Now I can put this track on and rock out. It's a good song. Now, moving on. The next song is more in line with what I would expect from a band like Iron Maiden. The next track is a Steve Harris penned tune called No Prayer for the Dying. It's the title track. And that opening riff, that melody line, it sucks you in. It's got that Maiden sound. No other band can do this sound like Maiden. And as far as the lyrics are concerned in this song, it seems to me like it's coming from the place of a person who has acquired plenty of materialistic success, like they have everything they could ever want here on earth, but they want to know what the ultimate meaning of their life is. I don't know if that was Steve Harris, if that was his intention, but I have noticed with different people that I've read about, like different, famous musicians or successful people in different creative fields, it seems like they're always searching. Alright, like they may achieve a ton of success, but sometimes it's almost like there's always a void inside them, and it's never good enough. No matter what they get, no matter what they win, no matter what they acquire, it's like a never-ending well, and they can just never find true happiness. And they're always searching for that, just the answer to that ultimate question, like, why are they here? What is their true purpose? Is there anything that waits for them beyond? Or is this all that there is? Just here on earth, this mortal coil. And it seems like that's what this song's all about. You don't really have to read between the lines with this shit. He doesn't write any of this stuff in a cryptic or vague way. It's very upfront. It's a good song. It has an epic feeling to it, but it's not a long track. That's the thing about No Prayer for the Dying. Every track on this album, for the most part, is to the point. It gets in and it gets out. You don't get like huge 10-minute long songs on this album. It's a good title track. I like the mellow feel to it, and then it heats up a little bit later in the track. There's some doses of energy in there. Dave Murray's on fire as always, and Yannick, I'm not a big fan of his on-stage persona. A lot of the shit that he does on stage when he's doing solos, I especially hate that stuff he does when he's bending notes and he's got the other hand going like this, like he's doing a fucking magic trick. I don't like that shit. I also don't like the flipping around of the guitar. I don't like doing the splits with one leg out. I just don't like that shit. And I know it probably seems like there's someone out there that's a huge Yannick fan that loves all that shit he does. And they're probably like, oh, people have been saying this for years. Get the fuck over it. He's been in the band for 28 years. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I think his guitar playing's really good. Dave Murray's my favorite player in the band. As far as solos are concerned and everything, I've always liked Murray the best, even over Adrian Smith. But I think that Yannick serves a good role. I think he's turned in some good solos and everything, but that stage presence, those fucking moves that he does, man, they drive me nuts when I watch him, when I actually pay attention to what the hell he's doing. Ugh. I especially hate this. He does this thing. Watch a live video where he's bending the notes and he's got this hand like he's doing a magic trick, like he's David Copperfield or some shit. Old news as far as any hardcore Maiden fan is concerned. We've all heard all the words of fucking discontent over the years about how annoying that shit is, so I don't want to sit here and pile on. I just wanted to point out that's where I stand on that. As far as that stage presence and all that showboating is concerned, I'm not a fan of that. But let's move on to the next track, Public Enema #1. And this song is one of the stronger tracks on the album. Dave Murray had a hand in composing this one. He had a writing credit on this song. And right out of the gate, it's just a rush of energy, and it has that kind of serious mood to it. You know what I mean? Just like when you listen to an album like Somewhere in Time, when you hear a song like Deja Vu or something like that. It just has that kind of weight to it. It has some really beautiful melodies right from the start. When this song starts, you got those great Maiden melodies coming right at your face, and you gotta just soak it up. And I really love the words to this. It just has this really great feel, especially when you get to that chorus and Bruce starts singing those lines. Fall to your knees today and pray the world will mend its ways. When he does that part right in there, pray the world, his voice just sounds fucking phenomenal. His voice is on another level. It sounds fantastic, and I just like everything about this song. The riffing is good. The melodies are good. It's energetic. It has a serious feel to it. This is the type of song that fits in with the kind of mood that you get on an album like Somewhere in Time. It doesn't have that kind of extra robotic edge, or I don't know, spacey type feeling that album had in a lot of parts. But it does have that weight to it. There's just a seriousness to a lot of those tracks, and this song shares that. The only thing that I don't like is the title of this song. I don't like how it's called Public Enema #1. I just think that Maiden, at least with Bruce Dickinson at the helm, you know, you come to expect Maiden to be a little bit more classy. I don't think, I would have just assumed they call this track Public Enemy #1. Now that may sound, you know, cliche, but I don't know, Public Enema, whatever, it's fine. I'm not being a fucking prude about it. They can call it, you know, Public Shitbag #1. I don't give a fuck. Public Shitbag #1. I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying that as far as I'm concerned, if I was the one making the decision, when you're reading the track listing and you get to that song and you read it for the first time, say you've never heard the damn track. Say you got an advanced copy of this album when it first came out, and you're going down a track listing, you're reading the titles, and you get to Public Enema #1. Now, would you imagine that a song called that would sound as serious and as intense as what this song sounds? With the beautiful melody lines going on and the very, you know, combative lyrics, like these lyrics just sound like full of piss and energy. Would you imagine that it sounded that way just by looking at the title? No, I would. I would think that the song would be kind of lighthearted, you know, a fucking romp, kind of like Holy Smoke. Just because it's got enema in the title. I mean, that just kind of adds a different feeling to it when you fucking read it. But that's my opinion anyway. The bottom line is this: whatever the hell you want to call it, Public Enema #1, Public Toilet #1, whatever the hell, it is a great track. It's a standout cut on this album, so you can't miss it. Now the next track is even better. It's even better. It's called Fate's Warning, which I think is hilarious because there is a cool band, a classic metal band from the 80s called Fate's Warning, and it's hilarious to me that Maiden has a song called Fate's Warning. You know, I don't know if they were aware of the band at the time. I'm not sure if I've ever read about that or anything, but it's kind of amusing to me how Maiden has a song on this album called Fate's Warning, especially because Fate's Warning is a band that was influenced by Iron Maiden. So that's kind of funny to me. But anyway, let's just talk about this track. It's a good one. I like the mood of it. Just like Public Enema #1, it has a serious mood to it. It has some great melodies going on. And the way that Bruce sounds when he delivers the lines during the verse sections, it's just sheer, unbridled passion. He sounds so emotional when he delivers lines like, "And some of us are here just so that we'll die." The way he does it is just perfect. I can't imagine another vocalist on earth just instilling the amount of feeling that he does into this song. He just injects so much life and energy into this track. And then during the chorus, when he's doing the "be it the devil" or "be it him," you can count on just one thing. That whole part is super catchy. Now, the one thing that I noticed the first few times I ever listened to this track, and I even notice it now, but I'm used to it, is that his voice during this chorus, in years previous, I think it would have been a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more clean. He would have sung this, but he instills a certain level of grit and grime into his voice. There's a little bit more rasp in this chorus section than if this song would have been recorded a few years earlier. I think it's just he was trying to put a little bit more roughness, a little bit more edge into the track, you know, because he could still sound very, you know, super melodic, super streamlined, very clean, just very soaring, very golden-throated. But on this track, I notice if you listen to the chorus, he sounds a little bit rough around the edges, but it's clearly intentional, and it still sounds grand and epic. This is just a flat-out great song, and I love it. I just love the feeling in it. Like I said, with just the lyrics to it, when you hear the way he sings those lines, it reminds me of great stuff from Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. You know, when you put on Somewhere in Time and put on a song like The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, or when you put on Infinite Dreams off Seventh Son, you know how those songs make you feel because they're so full of passion and heart. Well, that's the way a song like Fate's Warning is. It has all of those same dynamics. It has that same great energy about it, the same presence. So Fate's Warning is definitely one of my favorites on the album. The Assassin is the next track, and I'm just iffy on The Assassin. I could really go either way on this damn song. There are things I like about it, but then there are things that I just abhor about this song that I just can't stand at all. I'll tell you right now what I can't stand about this song is during the chorus. I don't like the better watch out. You know what I'm talking about? The better watch out. Annoying. When I hear that, that's like nails on a chalkboard, man. That just rubs my balls the wrong way. I don't like that shit at all. But it's funny because the next line, when Bruce is letting his voice go into full flight and he's saying, you know, I'm the assassin, that sounds cool. I don't mind that, but I don't like those better watch out. Don't like that, and that brings the song down about 7 points, if you ask me. The song starts off really good. I like the moody opening. It's very brooding, you know, kind of just makes you wonder what's around every corner. What's that dark shadow creeping around the corner over there? It's got that kind of vibe to it, so I like that. You know, it's a typical, you know, it has the type of flavor that Steve Harris injects into a lot of his compositions. But I just think this is an average song. It's nothing special. And then moving on, the next track, Run Silent, Run Deep, it's more of the same. It's just a song that's just there. It's just mediocre, you know what I mean? It's like an apple pie sitting out on someone's fucking windowsill that they forgot to bring in, you know? And then it just sat there and it just rotted in the goddamn sun, and you've got flies festering above it, laying maggots down in with the fucking apples. That's what this song is to me. It just seems like it's fucking half-baked. It's not that good. But I'll tell you what, the next track picks up the mood and just kind of puts a smile on your face and makes you feel real damn good. And that song is called Hooks in You. And this is probably a controversial opinion, but I think this is a pretty damn good song. I mean, much like a song like Holy Smoke, it's a lighthearted romp. You know, it doesn't have the seriousness, it doesn't have that vital edge that a lot of classic Maiden does. It's more down and dirty. It's, you know, you've got Bruce on here, he's singing a song that's totally about sex, and it's just got that 80s sleaze just dripping down the whole damn thing. The chorus is super catchy. Now, the first few times I heard this song, you know, I thought it was a little bit cheesy, but the more you listen to this song literally gets its hooks into you. Alright? It gets its hooks right into your skin and pulls it right off. It's kind of funny hearing Bruce sing lines like hooks in the ceiling for that well-hung feeling. The way he says that kind of stuff, it can make you laugh the first time you hear it. It's pretty funny stuff, actually. And he's very theatrical the way he does these lines. You know, Bruce can do a lot with his voice. Just such an amazing vocalist. Just top-tier talent. He's definitely one of my favorite vocalists, and he can just do so much with that damn voice. You know, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent because I want to keep talking about Hooks in You before we move on, but I do want to say right now, one of the things that's always impressed me quite a bit about Bruce is the fact that he can, if you've ever seen them do Hallowed Be Thy Name live, or even on the record, you know what he does, where he'll just stretch his voice out when he's doing that. The sands of time for me are running low. It's amazing how he can hold a note and just keep it quivering and keep holding it. And he just has such fantastic control of that voice. He harnesses that voice. It's amazing. But anyway, Hooks in You has a decadent, sleazy, you know, late 80s feeling. Just just in abundance, and I can't get enough of it. And this is, at the time, this was the only track on the album that Adrian Smith, he of course had left, but he had a writing credit on this song. And you can tell it has kind of that rockin' feel that a song like, you know, if you're familiar with some of the other stuff that Adrian Smith has come up with in the band, you know, his riffing style, you know, on 2 Minutes to Midnight and stuff like that. He just has that feel, that hard rock kind of knack about him. And you can tell that this is an Adrian Smith co-written tune. You can just feel it. And I like Hooks in You. I think it's a fun track. It's really fun. Now, moving on. The next song is called Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. And the funny thing about this song is I can still remember when I was a kid picking up this cassette tape down at my local music store and turning the tape over, looking at the song titles, as I always loved to do as a kid. You know, the fun thing about being a kid into heavy metal music was the fact that you not only had all the cool band names, and then you had all the cool album covers, but then you could look at all the cool, lurid song titles. I remember turning the tape around and looking at the titles, and when I read Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, I was like, holy shit, that sounds pretty damn cool. And sure enough, it is a cool song. It sounds really good coming after Hooks in You because it has the same kind of feeling going on. This is another Bruce Dickinson song on here, and he was really bringing the goods around this time as far as I'm concerned, because it's probably my favorite track on the album along with Fate's Warning. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter and Fate's Warning, if I had to pick just two favorite tracks, those would be it. And what I love about this song is just everything about it, man. Where do I even begin? It's got a great hard rock feel. I like the tongue-in-cheek words. You know, there's more sexual innuendo going on. I mean, Bruce is singing words like bite the pillow, and he's saying stuff about unchain your back door, invite me around. You know, stuff like that is just woven in a really sleazy way throughout the verse. And then when you get to the chorus, it's just a mammoth chorus because he's singing those lines, bring your daughter to the slaughter, and then the let her go parts. It just builds such a great momentum, and then such a great payoff at the end. But the funny thing about this song is that there are two versions, of course. There's the Bruce Dickinson solo version that was recorded first, and then there's the Iron Maiden version. Now, if you ask me, my opinion, which one's better, I'll tell you right now, the Bruce Dickinson solo version is even better. I love this Maiden version, but the Dickinson version just has such a cavernous, reverb-drenched feeling. It just sounds so massive when that chorus kicks in, man. It's like, if you're a hard rock metal fan, you know, it's the kind of stuff that just brings you to your knees. It's just the kind of stuff that makes you so happy that you love this kind of music because it takes you to a higher plane of being. Alright, that's how much I love the chorus of this song when it's done, when you hear the Bruce Dickinson version. Just such a great 80s feeling, just so huge, and it punches you in the damn face. I love it. The Maiden version is, you know, it's more streamlined, it's cleaned up, it doesn't have all that reverb, so I just think it lessens the impact quite a bit. It takes that edge off. It doesn't have that same sweaty barroom type feeling, you know? But otherwise, man, this is a standout track on the album. That's how good this damn song is. The fact that even though it's not as good as the other version of the song, it's still a standout cut on this damn album. One of my favorites. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Maiden should still be performing this song at every concert, no doubt about it. Now, the final track on this album is called Mother Russia, and I really feel like this is a track where Steve Harris just hits another dud. This song is just boring as fuck. And I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. It just is. This is no Alexander the Great, my friends. This song just does not deliver the goods. You know, it starts off, every riff in this song is unengaging. It goes nowhere. It just kind of meanders along. The words, I mean, Bruce can only do so much. If you give him, Steve Harris has crafted many a fine-ass metal song. He's crafted many a masterpiece, and he's handed Bruce long lines of prose that he has to deliver over some pretty demanding music, in a pretty high-energy fashion. But in a track like this, I mean, Bruce can only do so much with these fucking lyrics, along with the music that he has to sing over. There's just not much to work with here. The beginning of it has this very marching type feeling to it, but it just goes nowhere. I hate to say it, but this album closes on a downer of a note. And it's too bad, because there's some really kick-ass stuff on this album. So to sum it all up, I think that No Prayer for the Dying is an underrated album. It should definitely get more credit from the band themselves. Should give this album more credit, because there's some really cool stuff on here. You got Tail Gunner, you've got the title track, you've got Public Enema #1, Fate's Warning, Hooks in You, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. All of those songs in particular kick ass in varying measure. The only songs on here that I think fall completely flat are The Assassin. It has a few redeeming qualities, but then Run Silent, Run Deep, and Mother Russia, those two are the ones that I would say, man, you can totally just, those songs just don't deliver the goods. They just don't. But the rest, good stuff. And yeah, man, I like this album better than Fear of the Dark. You know how I said when I was growing up that No Prayer for the Dying and Fear of the Dark were the two that I gave the least amount of attention to? Well, of the two, No Prayer for the Dying, I feel, is the stronger record. And it's the one that should have songs played live. Alright? Like I said, it boggles my mind why they play Fear of the Dark so much. There must be a lot of people that just love that fucking song. And I guess so, because when I watch live Maiden videos, and when they play Fear of the Dark, it seems like there are a lot of people that are totally in rapture with that song. I mean, just hands held high, like it's the second coming, like God above is coming down on earth. Like, Jesus Christ, I've never felt like Fear of the Dark was that strong a track. Like I said earlier, I think it's kind of boring. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. The point is that No Prayer for the Dying is a really good album. It really is. It's very strong material on this one. And you know what, guys? I will be doing a review for Fear of the Dark at some point, because I don't want you guys to think that I don't like that album. There's some good shit on that album. I like Be Quick or Be Dead, alright? I like songs like Wasting Love, and there's other moments on that album that I like. I just feel like the title track in particular is overrated. But you know what, guys? Do yourself a favor and put on No Prayer for the Dying. If you haven't listened to it in a long while, there's some great rockin' moments on this album, and it's definitely an underrated piece of work. I will be doing more Maiden reviews in the future. I'm not sure which album I'll do yet as far as my next review of their material, but yeah, it'll be coming real soon, because I definitely love this band. They're one of my all-time favorites, so I can't wait to talk about them again. So let me know in the comments section what your favorite track is from No Prayer for the Dying, and what do you feel are the weaker moments, if any. Maybe you love everything on this album, I don't know. So let me know down in the comments section. And guess what, guys? I'll be seeing you again real soon.